Hey there, I'm going to show you how to set up and get started with Fallout Power Play. The first thing every player needs to do is decide which faction they're going to play. You can choose from the Raiders, the Enclave, Super Mutants, or the Brotherhood of Steel, and each one has their own strengths and weaknesses for you to discover. Once you've decided who you're going to play as, take the deck and separate out the faction card, then shuffle the rest of the deck and place it face down next to your faction card. Once each player has done that, you can move on to the next stage. Next, each player should take their corresponding faction tokens. And also, while you're at it, take all the other game tokens and place them in nice little piles somewhere it's easy to reach. Now it's time to lay out the locations our factions are going to explore. Take the trading post and the Wasteland locations and put them in the centre of the play area. Now each player's faction card will list a foothold location. Find that location card and place them out as well. Now because these are your foothold locations, you start with one influence in them. So take one of your faction tokens and place it in the number 1 slot of your faction's foothold location. Next up, take the Wasteland deck, give it a good shuffle and place it in the play area or somewhere else nearby. Each player now draws the top 4 cards from their deck to create a hand, and we are ready to begin the game. Power play takes place over a series of rounds, each of which is divided up into turns. The actions you can take on your turn are to deploy a card, activate a faction rule, or activate a location ability. Activating a faction rule or a location ability simply means following the rules on the corresponding card. Meanwhile, deploying a card means placing an agent or a quest card into an open slot on any location. When you play a quest card, make sure you follow the instructions under the Deploy section. The goal you have to achieve is listed under Quest, and once you've completed it, remove the quest card from play and take whatever the reward is listed as. In this case, we're being asked to draw a power play. So we draw through the deck until we find a power play, take that, and then shuffle any other cards we drew back into the deck. Here's an example of attacking. This player plays out a Super Mutant on their turn, and the Brotherhood player plays the Elder onto it on their turn. The Elder has a power of 4 versus the Super Mutant's power of 3, so the Super Mutant is killed, and the Elder takes its place. Whenever an agent is killed, it's put into its player's scrap heap. Here are some power play cards. As you can see, each one has a stipulation. This says when you can or can't play this card, and an effect, which tells you what it does. A player's turn can end in one of 3 ways. They run out of cards in their hand, they have cards left in their hand but they're just unable to play them, or they choose to pass. And remember, once you've passed, you can still play power plays, as long as you meet the stipulation requirements. At the end of the round, there's 5 things you need to run through. First, you need to draw the top card of the Wasteland event deck and resolve the effects of the card. This could be either a creature or an event. This one's the Yao Guai, a powerful Wasteland creature. When it's drawn, it attacks the highest power agent it can kill on the Wasteland location card. In our game there isn't any agent there, so the player with the least victory points deploys it. We've only just started the game, so no one's got any victory points. We randomly choose to break the tie, and the Super Mutant player wins, choosing to deploy it onto the Elder in revenge. Make sure you read all of the card text, because on this occasion, when the Yao Guai kills an agent, it doesn't go into its corresponding player's scrap heap. The second thing you need to do is to check for end of round effects. Some cards have an effect that resolves at the end of a round, so make sure you check for those and follow the instructions on the card. In this example though, there aren't any. The third thing you need to do is check influence. Take a look at every location and increase influence of the faction that has the highest total agent power in that location. Then, the player with the highest influence in that location gains a victory point. Whoever has the most influence is said to be dominating that location. In our example, the Brotherhood are dominating the trading post, the super mutants are dominating the war camp, and there is a tie for the airship. So no one gains victory points there. Fourth step is to degrade influence. Every player loses 1 influence in each location that they do not control an agent in. If you've only got a quest there, your influence will degrade. You need boots on the ground. Remember, your influence cannot go lower than 1 due to degradation. Finally, check if there's a victor. If a player has 10 or more victory points, they win the game. If not, begin a new round. To do that, every player draws up until they have 4 cards in their hand, and the player with the most victory points currently goes first. So that's how you play, but there are a lot of different card types. So let's take a look at them and see how they all work. On your faction card, you'll find 3 important pieces of information. Number 1, your foothold. This is the location card only you can add to the play space, and you always begin with 1 influence in it. Secondly, your faction's unique rule. So for example, for the Brotherhood of Steel, any agent in the same location as an active quest you control gains +1 power. Every faction's unique rule is different, so make sure you play to your strengths. Finally, the victory point track. This is where you track your victory points. Gets 10 and you win. Probably one of the most important things about location cards is the open slots. These are where you can place your quests and your agents, and every location has 4 of them. 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. 2 of the locations, the Trading Post and the Wasteland, also have special abilities. Just like your faction's unique rule, these can be activated on your turn instead of deploying a card. And finally at the bottom is the influence track. Use this to track your influence in this location. Agent cards are the forces under your faction's control. Up at the top right is the agent's power rating. This is what you'll use to measure off against your opponents in an attack. Also, each agent has specific rules and abilities. Make sure you try different combinations to get the best out of your faction's abilities. Next, quest cards, your missions and goals out in the Wasteland. The information on these is broken down into 3 sections. Deploy, which is what happens when you play that card into a location. Quest, which is what the player who deployed this card must achieve to complete it. And reward, what you get from completing a quest. Remember, once you complete a quest, you discard the quest card. Power plays are special cards that can be played without using an action. You can only play them if you meet the stipulation, and once they're played, the effect describes what it does. Finally, Wasteland encounters. There's 2 types of these: Wasteland events, which are one-time effects that state how they work on the card, and Wasteland creatures. These are very similar to agents. They have a power rating, and they deploy and attack in the same way. Each one covers its own rules in the card text. And there you go, that should give you the basics on how to set up, play, and understand the cards of Fallout Power Play. There's lots of different ways all of the different components of the game can combine to create unique effects and give your faction the one-up on your enemies. Good luck in the Wasteland.